Stephen, another massive week for the club, building up to the semi-final. How are you and all the boys preparing for this one?
Yeah, working hard. We've probably, we haven't taken our foot off the gas at all. We've continued to do what we've done all season. Normal training week for us, and we've worked hard. Boys look bright, and if anything, I've had to hold them back a little bit, and monitor what game time and minutes we're doing in training, because the enthusiasm and the energy is so high at the moment.
Yeah, we've seen that drive already this season, and that determination in the Betfred Cup. The determination now must be to go that one step further.
Yeah, I've said in a lot of interviews, getting to Hampden's great, but losing at Hampden is the worst feeling ever. And we've experienced both. We've beat Rangers in a big semi-final, and we've lost to Celtic in a final, and I know which one I prefer, and that's our motivation. We don't want to feel like that. We want what has been seen as a successful season. We wanted to make it a really memorable season, and these boys can put themselves into history in Motherwell.
And of course, now going up against Aberdeen, a side that you've enjoyed good success against this season, you'll be hoping to take motivation from the victories we've had into Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. They've been tough games. We've had 4 games. We've won 2. They have won 2. And it's funny. We've looked closely at it this week, and the things they done really well, we didn't do in the games we lost, and vice versa in the games that we won. So we're well aware what we need to do. They're a well organised side. They've got some talented individuals, but we'll be well organised as well, and we've got some individuals that'll win football matches as well. So we're prepared for a really tough game, tough afternoon, and I think it's who steps up and produces the performances over the 4 games that we've seen. We know the little bits and the minute details we need to take care of to win the football match.
A lot of people talk about the physicality, the nature of your team, but something that the people may not see is the desire, the heart that these boys have. Has that been in abundance this week so far?
Yeah, we are a physical team, and we play with a tempo, and as long as everything's within the limits and within the law, why not? We play a lot more football than people give us credit for, but I'm quite happy if they're coming into games and they're thinking it's going to be a tough game. Well, good, because we're creating an identity for ourselves, and that's what we want. We can improve. We know we can. There's lots of aspects of our play that we want to improve and continue to improve next season, but it's got us to where we are. And we're not going to change it completely. What we have to do is refine it and keep improving. And the enthusiasm and the energy I've seen this week in training, obviously it's going to be tough decisions. I've got to make decisions that are going to hurt people, but what it will be honest opinions that I believe will win the football match.
I don't suppose then it's hard for you to motivate the boys, not only with places up for grabs, but also with it being such a big game.
I think the opposite. I have to pull them back. At times we've had to cut down training. We've had to watch their tackle and watch the challenges they go in for, because they're just so honest. They're an honest bunch of boys, and I think when I speak to people around the town, I speak to people that the supporters do, it reflects the town. Honest people. People that work very, very hard for a living, and I think that's why they've created an identity with and a bond with the fans. The fans can see themselves in that there, and it's a team that we hopefully can make the fans very proud of on Saturday.
And what pride does that give you, Stephen, when you see not only how hard your players work, but what that does for the community, for the people around the club?
Yeah, it's massive. This has been an area that's been hit with unemployment, and it's had its bad times. And a lot of people, you speak to people, their whole life is this football club, and to give them that little bit of reward and see how much it means to people is massive to me. It definitely isn't lost on the players or the playing staff. We'd love to give something back to them, and this group of players will do everything in their power to do that.
And what are you expecting on Saturday from Aberdeen, Stephen? Because obviously, like we mentioned, it has been successful reasonably in the games we've gone up against them.
Yeah, people class us as physical. I class Aberdeen as a very physical side. They're a big side. They're a well organised, well drilled side, and they've got talented boys that when the ball lands and drops to them, they can win football matches. So they're not too dissimilar to us. And it's going to be a tough game for us. We know that, and we have to be at the top of our game. So we're expecting a tough game.
There's been a lot made about the players that won't be playing on Saturday, so of course I have to ask you about Carl McHugh. He's going to be a loss inevitably, but it gives other boys a chance, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And the boys that came in on Saturday against St Johnson, I thought Gail was very good, as well as Grimmy. It gives me options. Andy Rose has looked very good in training all week, and Adair's looked bright again now he's back training. So I've got tough decisions to make. Unfortunately for Carl, he's our captain, and we'll miss him, and we'll try and keep him as involved as we possibly can without obviously being on the pitch. Peter Hartley, Craig Tanner as well. So as much as they've got players missing, we've got players missing, but we won't be using that as any kind of excuse. We've built a squad of players. Some have hit the ground running early on in the season. Some have taken a little bit longer to get going, and they'll get opportunities, so it's up to them to take it.
You'll know your captain better than anyone. Can you take a little bit of solace from the fact that it was his winning goal in such stunning fashion that's ultimately put us in the semi-final.
Yeah, Carl is, he's the one who got the glory in the quarter-final to get us here, and now it'd be nice to, put the ice on the cake to go and win the game, and give me an option whether I put Carl back into the team again, and give me another tough decision. But he'll be a big part of it. He's been a big part of everything we've done all season, and he'll be there as well. Peter Hartley, Craig Tanner, and all the staff around the football club pushing and supporting the boys.
It sums it up. When we spoke to Carl, he said those exact same words. It'll be a challenge for him to get back in the team if they do get to the final. Is that key to how successful your team have been this season?
Yeah, I mean, people have come in, and we had a period in November or December where we won 1 game in 11, and that's the reason why we're not in the top 6. That is the reason. It was dictated to by injuries, and I felt the boys that come in maybe didn't quite do themselves justice. I think they've got more to show, and now there's boys knocking on the door. And if they take that opportunity, then yeah, it's got to be like you can't be guaranteed a place in the team, whether you're the captain or not. Carr's a leader, whether he's not in the team, and off the pitch as well, how he conducts himself. And I think that's massive with the history we've had of captains of this football club. But I pick the team solely on how people are playing, based on my opinion. Not everybody always agrees with that. That's football, but it's always whether they've done it on the pitch for me. And as a manager, you tend to find players that you trust, and Carr's one of those players.
You and I have often spoke about the players' determination. The press often talk about it. For you as a manager, Stephen, how determined are you to take your side to another final?
I'm desperate to do it. More so for the people around the football club and the staff who work ever so hard. We don't have a big staff. We don't have a big support staff. The groundsman who's let me actually train on the pitch Thursday, Friday, so I have to give Paul a mention, which is great. The first time he's let us on the pitch this season. But we have got a group of people that work so hard to make this football club tick, and it'd be great to give someone back to them, to get another day out at Hampden, and to hopefully go one step further. But we know we have to make sure we deal with Aberdeen, which is going to be a tough game first of all.
All the best for Saturday.
Okay, cheers, Lewis.
Thanks.
Cheers.